Hey everybody, thanks so much for joining along on this debugging session on a little bit of a mysterious thingy. So let me share the screen and try out a live demo. There was a little bit of a rider to it, so um, hopefully this doesn't come too unfamiliar, but to boil it down, basically it is we're having issues in the VS Code extension, you could say, or it is roundabout a new introduced slash help command. And this, let me figure, is working perfectly fine on GitLab.com in DuoChat, which is a little bit, that is kind of where the tricky part to it comes along. So yeah, here we go. This will give us a perfect, clearly response. And the thing that puzzles me a little, or our team, is the VS Code extension is supposed to be working the exact same way, or it's not supposed, it is for sure. But sending the slash help command there is causing an endless spinner. I will now open the DevTools and see. And the actual issue, we should now be able to see it in the logs, is focusing on the client side, kinda. Yeah, there we can already, what we're seeing now in the logs is that we're seeing nothing. So basically the way this is working is we're sending a GraphQL mutation out. This is what we're here seeing, and let me send out positive prompt. We are having mutation first, afterwards GraphQL subscriptions, where chunk IDs or chunks are coming in, that is the streaming, and then at the end of the day, a final message, which is then replacing the stream message. On this front, so far so good. And the actual puzzling part about this is, from what I can see in these logs, this seems to me very much of a backend issue, as if in like I'm sending out the mutation, but there's just no data coming back. So, okay, client seems to do absolutely right thing. Server is not responding. Server is not responding. What makes it weird is that on other hosts, e.g. GitLab.com, server is completely responding, and there is no real difference I can tell regarding the response. As I mentioned in the comment I sent earlier out, there is a variable called platform origin that is different on the extensions, but removing it doesn't change anything. So that is kind of probably not the cause of this. So
So,
yeah.
so have you tried on the GraphQL Explorer, seeing if this works?
I have. The problem with that is the mutation always works, and I'm not aware of a way. I'd be curious to simulate a subscription in the GraphQL
Oh yeah,
Explorer.
you can't do the subscription, that's for sure.
That is kind of the thing, and the problem is happening within the subscription, as if in, like they just stay silent. That's kind of the issue.
Okay. Can you do one thing? Can we? I know some of the parts that you need to check.
Mhm.
So, are you familiar with the chat controller?
I have seen it flying by for sure. Familiar is a big word, but I think that is what you're talking about, right?
Yes, this is it. So how it works is we just send one request, HTTP request, to actually send the mutation, and then we get a response back with a request ID, and we build the initial record via that. So there should be a method called new prompt
It's
or
on the
something.
line 189 is where we are subscribing. I just saw it there. 189.
189. Here we go.
Yep. So subscribe to updates. So, but there should be. So this is the subscription. So this is when it opens the WebSocket connection. There should
Mhm.
be a HTTP call for the mutation. So
Just
it's
above.
not actually one request. It's a request. Then we open the connection, WebSocket connection. So I just want to see what you're getting back from the initial request first before we think about the connection. the WebSocket connection.
Oh, okay. Just for my understanding, because that might actually be a difference between the two implementations. Those subscriptions, are they kind of persistent for each session in the VS Code extension? So it's basically DuoChat coming up, we're making one subscription, and it's gonna stay alive for the end of the session, right?
And the subscription's only up until. That's a good question. I don't know when the subscription ends. I think it's basically state based. So there should be if you go to the GitLab.
Can I just
Sorry, can you?
intercept for a second? I think that
Yeah.
like my initial suspicion is like my hypothesis for this is that we send the mutation and then we are opening the WebSocket connection. I think that we are opening it for every subscription that we make, and
Yes.
it doesn't persist. That might be the difference between browser, and maybe
Yes.
the help returns so fast that it just pushes into the whatever WebSocket before we subscribe to it. And that would be something that I was thinking that might be the issue.
I agree. I agree.
Okay. Well, obviously that is definitely a difference between the two implementations, so that is great to hear. But wait a second, we are so the VS Code extension code is sending out the mutation and then kind of immediately setting up the subscription, right? Milliseconds, I suppose.
Immediately, like, yeah, there is one more await call in the middle, but like, yeah, like in the same method call, it eventually gets to set up the subscription.
Yeah, okay, but yeah, now that you say it like this could not be milliseconds. Like, okay, yeah, maybe that's a good call. This could be half a second or something, and this could be enough.
I think that would actually be a source of a lot of bugs, because there's some times where you send a message and it'll show up just fine on the web chat, but it won't show up in VS Code at all. Unrelated to this, like the other issue I tagged you in, Yana.
Okay. Well, that's for sure a great hypothesis. How do we debug this?
May I chime in? Because I was actually seeing something the opposite. So in the beginning, when we wrote this feature, locally on my VS Code, chatting to my local GDK, it works. So I always assume that it works because I'm doing testing locally and things are responding very fast, but it doesn't work on GitLab.com because I assume it's a bit slower. But what you said just earlier seems to be the opposite to what I was assuming. I wonder if that may help in any way. Yeah, back to you.
No, that's a fair point. On one hand, it does make sense that it's kind of odd that it works locally. Still, when it comes to timing issues, I would still hold on to this hypothesis and try to debug it, because yeah, those timings can be affected by so many things. So, Thomas, any idea, any path forward on how to check it?
Well, so there is one thing that unrelated. I'll say it really quick. When we fail to set up the subscription, there is a catch somewhere there in the subscribe to updates method, and we make HTTP call to just retrieve the full message and we poll for it. And so, like, we can just it's going to be in that if you click through to the method on line 189, in that to the subscript updates method, there is a somewhere try catch, I think.
Doesn't look like to.
No. So go back then.
I think that try catch is on a line that we're either making a subscription or we're making.
Yeah, that's also how I read it.
Right. Okay.
Back to the controller, right? This thing, like this is the try and this is the catch, right?
Yeah. Okay. So let's just let's just skip the try and let's just run run that one. And I think
this is how
that would fix it. I don't know what it proves. It just proves that the server response is somewhere in the database, I guess, like that,
Yeah.
or in the memory, probably more likely than in database.
Yeah. Well, if we manage to actually fix it, even though with like a workaround, that for sure does prove something. That proves we have found the issue. So there we go. One more try.
Did you clear? You might need to clear before, because that sends it back in. It clears out Redis.
Oh.
Okay.
Well,
There you go.
that okay. One more time. Clearing / help. Interesting.
Why?
Very interesting.
Why is this so fast? Oh, is it because it's just a static backend response?
Yeah, it's static text.
Okay.
Like there is no cloud, no fancy, just plain text. Boom.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. It's most likely the subscription. And probably like Tomas said, like we send something, we send the request, we then perform like a web view record insert, then we subscribe. And we probably need to do you need the request ID to subscribe though? Can you go to the subscription handler?
That would be
You
that
need
thing.
the ID. I have no
Well,
idea how
what?
we're going to work around the timing here. Like if that's the sequence of steps, we would need something like a atomic, post a mutation and subscribe to whatever that mutation returns and already listen to it, especially if the server just instantly responds with like a pre-canned text instead of waiting somewhere, then
Mm,
we can go to server and delay the response by.
I was just about to make that joke, so I'm sorry. Yeah, that would be that could be an easy fix. Okay, help me.
Oh wait, my question is: do you need do you need a request ID or anything to establish the subscription?
Say again. Sorry.
Do you need a request ID or mutation ID to establish the subscription?
For sure not. Not that I can give you all the details, but what I know is the monolith implementation does keep up the subscription persistently, and it wouldn't be able to do that. It would be the case.
That's what I'm wondering. Can we just on component mount just call the subscription handler and keep it as a global?
Yeah. The reason why I'm slightly hesitant with that is actually it is a bit of a bad practice. Not a bit. It is quite a bad practice what the monolith is doing with keeping the subscriptions alive all the time. We shouldn't be doing that. So the VS Code extension, the implementation is actually better. Still, this problem is kind of a deal breaker, but implementing a way in the VS Code extension that the subscriptions are staying on all the time might be a workaround for now.
I'm not saying all the time. I'm saying like maybe have it when the cursor is in view or a component is mounted and in view, like basically add some logic to the view app that shows like so you're only establishing the connection whenever you're actually using it is what I'm saying.
I see. Okay. Do we wanna try this out? Like what you just mentioned regarding the on component mount, at least for now, like for prototype.
But the code is in the controller that's living in the Node app of the extension. So like you are talking about the Vue app somehow signaling to the extension to like get ready.
Yeah. Yes,
Okay.
exactly. Yeah. So pass a message from Vue on. I don't know. You'd have to. It's probably going to be some special logic like component mount. I mean, for now, as a POC, you could do like on component mount. I think it's already exists.
Before we even do that, like, look, we have a half an hour, and like first thing I would like to do, if we can, like, is there any way how we can really confirm that it's a timing issue? We have some good good signals, but if we can confirm that, that would be like that we would find the root cause at least. And then what Angelo suggests, I think is a great idea, but we could just for now like open as soon as the chat starts, open a subscription.
Oh
and
yeah,
not worry
actually,
about efficiency and just
actually,
that fixes it.
like, yeah, that's a good idea. You could open the subscription before, so call the subscription handler before the chat request is sent, and that should be the main change.
Yeah, that could be
What
a
Tomas
way
is saying.
to validate that it's a timing issue. If we really can open subscription without the ID.
So
okay.
So on the left there, sorry, so lines 189, you would move, or I guess that try catch block. You don't try catch for now, like just forget about like error handling, just assume everything works. And you would move this call to the beginning of process new user record, like before everything. So establish the connection before everything. But the record, but you see how it's using record ID. I just want to make sure you don't need a record ID. So can you click this API subscribe to updates?
I can.
Okay. Subscription ID.
You
do need a
it's optional argument, at least in here. So
okay. Do you need it though for let me go to the GraphQL resources.
Since it's optional, I suggest not passing it in and see what's gonna happen.
Yeah, in the meantime, I will just give it a shot and see if it screams at me.
Yeah, I mean you can try and see. My guess is you might need it.
I think we broke streaming since the logs are very quiet now. And there
well, okay, that's another issue actually. Okay. I have huge qualms with this. I found this while doing the direct connection POC and AI Gateway. We are if the React agent can't parse the response from the LLM, it breaks streaming completely. And that happens for like above 5% of messages. It's actually crazy. I don't know who thought that was a good idea, but
okay, interesting.
So I would use like something that you know is that it probably can parse. So like maybe fetch this merge request.
Yeah, but
that would be a good test.
Yeah, but what we're currently seeing on the screen, and correct me if I'm wrong, but that is exactly what we needed. So random prompt still working /help is now returning a response for sure. Well, streaming being broken being one thing, but this is a huge difference than before. So
clear it and run. Give me like a random Python function and don't use any tools. And make sure you don't use any tool.
Like that?
Yeah.
What is the rationale behind that prompt?
I want to see if it streams in.
No.
So it didn't stream for some reason. Can you go to the workflow logs?
Yeah, how do I get there again? Oh, it should be here, right?
Yep. GitLab workflow.
What do you want to see?
And can you add, can you go to the GitLab chat API? In the code? Sorry. And so the file to the right, you have the tab open already. And there should be some new chunk. So you see the channel on new chunk. Can you just what log info? You should be logged then. Oh, full message received. So let's see if it says full message received first. And are we sure it's actually compiling? Is there any build errors?
Where would I see them? How do I?
Probably
There is
Command
a-
T.
There is in your shell, like you press Control backtick, and it would be.
Oh yeah, that's the original. I changed mine to Command T, but
Control backtick. No, that's not it.
if it's Mac, it's Command backtick, I think, right?
Backtick,
Or no?
okay. Well, it's the bottom panel usually has the tasks that you run. So also there are icons all the way in the top right corner of the windows. You have 4 little
There we
icons.
go.
So the one that has the bottom panel, there is a second icon from the left. Sorry for. I
All
mean,
good. There we go.
that
There we
one,
go.
yeah.
There we go. Yeah.
Here you see that some compilation error probably. That's a jest. So there would be, however, there is a drop down also in the top right corner of this terminal view. Yeah, there is a drop down there with text saying what's the task.
There we go. Okay.
Yeah, and there.
What do you want to see in here? JavaScript debug terminal.
Are we in the right window, or are we in the window that the test? Now we are in the right window.
Yeah.
This is the code window. This is the extension window.
I would, Yannick, I would do this. I would close out of this extension development host.
Yes, for sure. Yannick, have you by any chance pressed Command R? That just kills the compilation.
Could be, yeah.
Okay,
I'm not. Okay,
let's just start it again.
Run it. Okay, sweet.
I was thinking he can do, instead of this, Tomas, the run without build and just run the build manually in the terminal.
I know what you mean. Might be.
Because it looks like there is a build error.
Okay, do we want to try this out? This is where I feel more at home. So we are in the right thing, and it would be, what's the command in here? Is it just yarn build? Yarn build.
Maybe npm run compile. That would.
npm run build desktop, or
Watch
sorry,
desktop.
npm watch desktop. Sorry, yeah, that's it. Watch : desktop. Okay. This is what I usually use versus the.
Me too.
Okay.
We need to do a better job at documenting. There is an issue for creating like a GDK for editors. I think that would be.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah, that'd be great. Yeah. Okay, so can
Is
you go to
that
that TypeScript error?
Yeah, that doesn't look too promising. So
I don't
that is
know
the
if
file.
I don't know if the assets get replaced or not, and if there's a TypeScript error, but I usually assume
Okay.
if the TypeScript error is there, then the build doesn't get actually reflected. So
Gotcha. Okay. So here we are. This doesn't look too great.
yeah, just remove that for now. What is it saying? It doesn't exist. Why doesn't it exist?
Yep. Does not exist on type chat input template.
Are you on latest main?
Yeah, should be like pretty late. This morning late or something, a couple of hours.
That's really strange. We maybe yeah, there shouldn't be any type issues like this.
Okay, let me see. So it's dash.
I can also pull it up on my machine as well.
Yeah, sounds good. Let's see if that fixed it.
Can we view if it doesn't, can we just view the changes in the diff view of VS Code and see what have like?
But it seems like it did, right?
Yeah. Okay.
It's looking good.
Cool. So now switch to the VS Code window, and before running the extension, close the existing extension development host. And now there is in the run task, there is a drop down at the top. No, the drop down, and press the without build. That's when you run the build externally, and you just want the VS Code to start
To
the.
host it, basically. Gotcha.
This looks good. This looks good. Let's go to the chat. I think this is, yeah. And so here that you can, yeah, test message. Okay, this looks good. And now
Streaming is back on, yeah.
let's see if it help.
Streaming didn't
Yeah.
work, but
Good.
we have a message.
Yeah.
Okay,
And that's
so
what I'm saying. The streaming is hard to know because the AI gateway streaming is just
Okay, so never mind streaming for now,
Never
but we fixed it. Or well, fix is a big word, but we verified the root of the problem. That is what we just saw, correct?
I believe so.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That is fantastic. Just in time, before we all drop off, let me quickly. So these are logs. Like what we're now having in here is not well. Yeah, this is not a sufficient fix. What do you folks think about me on the existing issue updating this with what we just learned? Or maybe somebody of you with all the background on this can help me out on this and then pass this issue to the editor extension team, because that is probably where the expertise to fix this lies, and then you can put this into your planning and backlog or wherever it goes. Does that sound like a good idea to you, or any concerns around this? Or answer
No, I
with a
mean-
look on your face, you want to fix it now.
I mean, it doesn't seem like it'd be too big of a change. So you just need to make sure that you keep the business logic of making the polling request if it's failing at all, and just ensuring that at least some of the streamings work is still working. And you can do that by can we just confirm that right now while we have time? Just so we make sure it's.
Yep. I want to be respectful of your time, folks, but I have at least 30 more minutes to happy to pair on this. Whoever wants to drop, please feel free. But
Well, we just saw it was streaming, right? And it's using the code we changed, right?
one more time, we saw the message streaming in. Was that the question?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we saw it coming in, streaming in. I was just making sure the code we changed, streaming still works. What I'm hoping is that we don't have like false positive, basically. Like this is using the code that you changed. Okay, it is. Yeah, that makes sense then. Okay.
Yeah, we have another 20 minutes in the original invite, but I don't mind finishing early. What you say, Yannick, sounds good. I think this is exactly when we were dividing the work. This is exactly the type of work that would fall into editor extensions. So that sounds fair. With like how are we going to prioritize it? Like it seems like it might be a really quick fix. I don't know enough about WebSockets connections and the Anycable implementation that we use in the Node app. That is the extension to like be able to now say it's a half an hour work for engineer or it's a day. So
gotcha.
we need to get the priority right with product engineering, but I think it should be us to fix it.
Yeah, that sounds cool. Or absolutely. Still, do we wanna spend the rest of the remaining time? Maybe we get a lucky shot on this and see how far we can take it, or just drop off here.
I don't think that we I don't know whether we need like a 5 engineers.
Very fair point.
Pairing on it, because like why say what are my next steps that I think that we should do, and then if we all agree, we can just ask someone to document it and be done with it. So I think that this div that you created, Yannick, is good. We should figure out the implications of what does it mean when we are subscribing without the record ID? Why did we need it in the first place? What we should then figure out how to close the subscription if anything goes wrong, I guess. and how to resume start the polling if anything goes wrong. So there would be something like, if something goes wrong, close subscription, start polling, and that is all that I can think of doing. Angelo, what do you think? You had some gripes with the chat connection and streaming. Do you think that there is anything how we can make it worse or better in this when we are implementing this fix?
No, I mean the suggested fix makes sense to me. Overall, architecture-wise, that's a different discussion, but yeah, this makes sense to me. I'm happy to make the change, or Tomas, if you want to make the change, or we get it onto the editor extensions backlog. I don't think it'll be too crazy to change, just as long as we preserve the business logic. So, and also make sure that it gets captured in Lena's work for migrating this. She's migrating all this logic to the language server web views. Yeah, that's it for me.
Cool. Well, then we are on the same page. With the prioritization, I would leave it to product. I can pick it up, but I don't have like a freak, but it will be a trade-off with what I'm doing at the moment, as it always is. But like I can so pick it up. So Yannick, doesn't sound good. So document the issue, move it into editor extensions, and ping Dasha Maverick so we prioritize it.
Awesome. Yeah, lots of learning from this. That is exactly what I'll be doing. I'll update the issue again. I'll make sure to put this diff in that we now created as well for debugging and like learning purposes. Ping product, and then let's see where we take this. Awesome. This couldn't have been more successful, folks. Thanks everybody for joining. Enjoy the rest of your day. And yeah, looking forward to see you folks soon.
Yeah.
Awesome. Have a good one. Thank you.